The sun was setting over the small town of Willow Creek, casting an orange glow over the quiet streets. 8-year-old Lily Parker skipped along the sidewalk, clutching a small bag of groceries. Her mother had sent her to the corner store for some essentials, and, though she was young, she was independent and responsible. By her side trotted Max, her loyal German shepherd. But Max wasn't just any dog. He had been a highly trained canine unit before an injury forced his early retirement. When Lily's father, a police officer, had brought Max home, the dog had become her best friend and protector. Lily hummed a tune, her thoughts innocent and carefree, unaware of the danger lurking around the corner. A group of bikers roared down the street. The gang, known as the Black Reapers, had been causing trouble in town, stealing, harassing, and intimidating people. Tonight, they were in a reckless mood, looking for trouble. One of them, a scruffy man with a jagged scar across his cheek, spotted Lily walking alone. He nudged his buddy. "Easy target," he sneered. The other bikers chuckled darkly. They slowed their bikes, circling the little girl like vultures closing in on their prey. Lily's heart pounded as she clutched the bag tighter. "Hey, kid," the scarred man growled. "Where you going?" Lily took a step back, her voice barely above a whisper. "Home." Another biker, a towering man with a snake tattoo on his neck, smirked. "How about you come with us instead? We'll take you for a ride." Terror gripped Lily. She knew she was in danger. But Max didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, his ears alert, his stance protective. A low, menacing growl rumbled from his chest. The bikers laughed. "Oh no," Scarface mocked. "The little girl's got a dog?" "You don't know what you're messing with," Lily whispered, gripping Max's fur. Snake Tattoo chuckled. "Yeah? What's he gonna do, bark us to death?" The moment one of the bikers reached for Lily, Max exploded into action. With lightning speed, the German shepherd lunged at the man's arm, his powerful jaws clamping down with precision. The biker howled in pain, stumbling backward. "What the?" Max released him just as another man lunged, but Max was faster. He dodged and leaped, slamming into the biker's chest and sending him sprawling onto the pavement. The gang panicked. "This ain't no regular dog," one of them shouted. "That's a police dog," another yelled. Max stood his ground, his teeth bared, growling ferociously. Lily, though terrified, felt a surge of hope. Scarface, shaking with rage, pulled out a knife. "I'm not scared of no dog," he snarled. Lily gasped. But Max was a trained canine. He recognized the threat immediately. In a flash, he lunged, clamping down on the biker's wrist and forcing him to drop the knife. With a quick maneuver, Max knocked the man to the ground, pinning him with his weight. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone had called the cops. The remaining bikers scrambled to their bikes, revving their engines in panic. "We gotta go." Max let go of Scarface, who scrambled to his feet and bolted, clutching his bleeding wrist. Within moments, police cars screeched onto the scene. Officers leaped out, guns drawn. "Freeze," an officer commanded. The gang was caught. The officers quickly apprehended the injured bikers, slapping cuffs on them. Lily turned to Max, wrapping her arms around his neck. "You saved me," she whispered, her voice shaking. Max licked her face, his tail wagging as if to say, "Always." Her father, Officer Parker, ran to her, scooping her into his arms. "Lily, are you okay?" Tears spilled down her cheeks as she nodded. "Max protected me, Dad." He stopped them all. One of the officers approached, whistling in amazement. "That's one heck of a dog you've got there, Parker. He just took down 3 gang members like it was nothing." Parker smiled proudly, ruffling Max's fur. "He's not just a dog, he's family." The bikers were arrested that night, and their reign of terror in Willow Creek ended. The town hailed Max as a hero, and news of his bravery spread. But for Max, none of that mattered. His only mission had always been clear: protect Lily, no matter what. And that's exactly what he did. Though the Black Reapers were arrested, something about that night left Lily unsettled. The way Scarface had looked at her before he was taken away, it wasn't just anger, it was a promise. A silent vow that this wasn't over. Her father, Officer Parker, reassured her. "They're locked up, sweetheart. You're safe." But even as he hugged her, he exchanged worried glances with his fellow officers. A week passed, and Willow Creek returned to its usual peaceful rhythm. Lily tried to push the fear away. Max was always by her side, his protective eyes never leaving her. Then, one night, strange things began happening. It started with a noise, a faint scraping against the side of their house. Max's ears perked up and he let out a low growl. Lily, who had been in bed, sat up, her heart hammering. "Max?" she whispered. The German Shepherd moved toward the window, muscles tense. A shadow moved just beyond the glass. Lily gasped. Someone was out there. She scrambled out of bed and rushed to her parents' room. "Dad, someone's outside." Parker was up in an instant, grabbing his service weapon. He and Max moved toward the back door while Lily and her mother stayed behind. Max's growls deepened as Parker flicked on the floodlights. The backyard was empty. But Parker wasn't convinced. He called in a patrol unit just to be safe. The officers searched but found nothing. "Probably just some stray animal," one of them said. Lily wasn't so sure. Then, 2 nights later, another incident. This time Lily awoke to the sound of creaking, not from outside, but from inside the house. She held her breath, listening. A floorboard groaned. Her bedroom door was slightly open. Had it been open when she went to sleep? Max was already awake, his fur bristling. He moved silently toward the door. Lily's throat tightened. She reached for the baseball bat she kept by her bed. A shadow moved in the hallway. Then, bang! A loud crash came from downstairs. Her father's voice rang out. "Who's there?" Max shot out of the room, barking furiously. Lily followed, her fear momentarily forgotten. She reached the stairs in time to see her father pointing his gun toward the broken back door. The intruder was already gone. But something lay on the floor. A black leather vest. The emblem stitched on the back made Lily's blood run cold. The Black Reapers. Her father knelt, his jaw clenched. They're back. The police increased their patrols around the Parker home, but fear still clung to Lily like a shadow. Then came the note. It was found wedged under their front door, a single sentence scrawled in rough handwriting. "You got lucky last time. The dog won't save you forever." Lily's hands trembled as she read it. Max sat beside her, sensing her distress. He let out a soft whine and nudged her hand with his nose. Her father took the note and crushed it in his fist. "That's it. We're not waiting for them to make a move. I'll handle this." That night he left for the station. More officers would be on alert. Lily lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Max lay beside her, his body warm and reassuring. But even with him there, she couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible was coming. And she was right. Because at that very moment, just beyond the trees near their house, figures in black leather watched from the darkness. And they weren't leaving empty-handed. The night was heavy with silence. Willow Creek slept peacefully, unaware of the storm about to break. But inside the Parker house, Max was restless. He paced near Lily's bed, his ears twitching at every sound. Lily, half asleep, felt the tension in the air. She reached out and stroked Max's fur. "It's okay, boy. Dad said the police are watching." But Max didn't relax. Then came the sound. A faint clink, like metal against glass. Max's head snapped toward the window. A second later, crash. The sound of shattering glass sent Lily bolting upright. Someone had just thrown a rock through her bedroom window. Before she could react, a thick cloud of smoke billowed into the room. The sharp, choking scent burned her nose. She coughed, stumbling out of bed. Tear gas. The Black Reapers were here. Max snarled, his eyes locked onto the broken window. Lily's vision blurred as the gas stung her eyes. She covered her mouth, trying not to inhale, and ran for the door. But as soon as she reached it, boom! The back door downstairs was kicked open. They were inside. Through the chaos, she heard her mother scream. Footsteps pounded up the stairs. Lily's heart pounded. Her father wasn't home. Only Max stood between her and the gang. A shadow filled the doorway. Scarface. His jagged grin gleamed in the dim light. "Told you, kid, your luck ran out." He took a step forward, then froze. "Mac." The German Shepherd stood in front of Lily, his teeth bared, growling deep and low. His entire body was coiled like a loaded spring, ready to strike. Scarface chuckled. "Still hiding behind your mutt?" He pulled out a taser and flicked it on. Sparks danced across the metal prongs. Lily's breath hitched. Scarface lunged. But Max was faster. The German Shepherd sprang forward like a missile. His jaws snapped around Scarface's wrist, twisting with bone-crushing force. The biker howled, dropping the taser. Max didn't let go. He yanked Scarface to the ground, his powerful body pinning the man. "Get this beast off me!" Scarface shrieked. Heavy boots thundered up the stairs. 2 more gang members appeared in the hallway. One pulled out a gun. Lily's blood ran cold. No. Before he could aim, Max released Scarface and lunged again. He slammed into the gunman's leg, sending him crashing backward. The firearm skidded across the floor. The third man grabbed Lily's wrist. "We're done playing." Max spun and sank his teeth into the biker's thigh. The man screamed and fell to his knees. Then, ooh. The sound cut through the night, growing louder by the second. The gang panicked. The one with the gun scrambled to grab his weapon. Scarface, still clutching his bleeding arm, staggered to his feet. "Move, cops are coming." Max didn't give them a chance. He lunged again, forcing them back. Downstairs, the front door burst open. "Boys, hands in the air!" A flood of officers stormed inside. Scarface's eyes darted to Lily. For a moment she saw pure hatred burning in them. Then he turned and bolted, shoving past his gang members. They ran for the broken back door, desperate to escape. But they never made it. Outside, Officer Parker stood with his gun raised. "Drop the weapon." The gang skidded to a stop. More officers closed in, their flashlights blinding. Within seconds, the bikers were tackled, cuffed, and shoved to the ground. Scarface thrashed wildly, "That dog." Parker silenced him with a glare. "That dog just saved my daughter's life. Again." Max stood at the top of the stairs, panting but victorious. Lily ran to him, throwing her arms around his neck. "You did it, Max!" The police secured the scene. The Black Reapers were finished. One of the officers whistled, shaking his head. "That's one hell of a canine." Parker knelt beside Max, ruffling his fur. "He's more than that." He looked at Lily. "He's family." The days that followed were filled with news reports and celebrations. Willow Creek hailed Max as a hero. The town even threw a ceremony in his honor. But for Max, none of that mattered. He didn't care about medals or applause. He only cared about Lily. And as she sat on the porch with him, running her fingers through his fur, she whispered, "I love you, Max." Max leaned against her, his tail wagging. Because he knew. No matter what dangers came, he would always protect her.